Welcome in, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled to be your host for this explainer. Today, we're zeroing in on your career evolution, and we're pulling insights straight from Theravanga Shok's Smart QA wisdom on personal growth. If you're ready to evolve from just, checking off tasks to genuinely impacting your field, you are in the exact right place. This is going to be a happy learning guide on your professional journey, so let's jump right in. I want to kick things off with a quick question. When you hear the phrase career growth, what immediately pops into your head? Is it a fatter paycheck, a flashier job title, maybe managing a bigger team? I mean, sure, those are definitely outcomes of growth, but are they the actual definition of growth? Today, we're going to completely challenge that traditional mindset and look at what it truly takes to evolve in the fast-paced world of tech and quality assurance. Think of today's agenda as our own personal safari itinerary. First up, we'll redefine what true growth actually means. Then, we are literally heading out on a safari to pick up some vital leadership lessons from nature. After that, we'll pivot straight into evolving in the AI era, and then we'll figure out how to cultivate your creative edge. Finally, we'll wrap the whole shebang up with some closing thoughts. So let's kick things off by redefining true growth, which really comes down to finding your inner strength. We really need to look at growth not as something that happens to your title, but as something that happens inside of you. Okay, let's dive into this. The source material defines real growth as an internal evolution. It's not just about accumulating more and more knowledge, what the author calls adding. Real growth is about modifying and deleting. It's assimilating what actually works, ditching outdated views, and building up that core inner strength. And as you digest knowledge, you build the confidence to truly influence outcomes. The fascinating part? Watch how this expands. You go from just managing your individual self, the I, to leading the whole project team, the we. Eventually, that sphere of influence ripples out to the product, the company, the customer, and even the broader community. True growth is having the inner confidence to get absolutely anything done. Now, how do we actually put that kind of leadership into practice? Well, grab your binoculars because we're heading to the African savanna. Let's take a quick trip to the Masai Mara to observe this totally incredible ecosystem. The author recalls a trip where he watched lions feasting, hyenas waiting nearby to crush the bones, and vultures swooping in for the scraps. It's brutal, but in nature, absolutely nothing is wasted. The crucial point here is that it takes multiple, highly varied skills to get a job done well. So, quick interactive question for you. Who is the lion in your office? Who's the hyena? You see, every single role requires a completely different type of intelligence and power. A great leader knows there's no superior or inferior here. You need the whole team to thrive. Next up on our growth safari, we look up into the trees and spot the leopard. Now, a leopard has incredible raw power and speed, but to actually secure its prize, like, say, dragging a massively heavy water buck up a tree branch, it has to use meticulous, methodical precision. It works systematically. And it's the exact same in your career. Raw talent or sheer power just isn't enough on its own. You've got to combine that power with solid processes and methodical execution to make sure the job actually gets finished well. Preparation and strategy are what truly unlock your power. Now let's see how this builds by looking at the giraffe and the zebra side by side. The giraffe, with its massive towering frame, approaches everything confidently and fearlessly. That grace, that elegance, that ability to stand tall and see the big picture, that's a hallmark of leadership that completely inspires teams. But then look over at the zebras. They're a prime target for predators, right? So they survive through incredibly sharp senses, keen sight, acute hearing. They're constantly measuring their environment, and they can bolt agilely at the very first sign of danger. As a professional, you absolutely need the giraffe's confident vision, but you also need the zebra's nimble ability to course correct away from danger. Okay, beware the hippo. Honestly, they look so tranquil and lazy just lounging around in the water all day, but they are actually fiercely protective and possess enormous, literally deadly power. Just like the hippo, people in your organization have immense, hidden, dormant potential waiting right beneath the surface. A truly evolved leader spots that tranquil surface and actively enables their team to unleash that dormant power. And hey, we absolutely cannot leave the savannah without observing the warthogs. They just dart around the plains with this boundless energy, seemingly running for the pure joy of it. The lesson here is simple but totally vital. Hakuna Matata. Explore, be curious, and really enjoy the unbridled spirit of your professional journey. Seriously, if you aren't enjoying the flow, you'll never unleash your full potential. All right, let's step out of the wild savanna and pivot straight into the modern digital landscape, where things like automated testing and AI are the norm. Let's talk about evolving in the AI era. And this brilliantly illustrates a concept called the productivity creativity inversion. For decades, we all chased efficiency and productivity, right? But look at where we are today. We've reached a point where machines and AI are a vastly better investment for future productivity gains than humans are. I mean, productivity is abundant now. The machines have it covered. Because of that, our human energy has to shift entirely to the newly scarce resource, creativity. Think about this in terms of your day-to-day work. The left side of the green is all about logic, analysis, processing scripts. And let's be honest, machines are exceptionally good at this unattended, mechanistic evaluation. Our job is no longer just feeding scripts to a machine. We've got to harness right-brain creativity to shift left. What that means is moving earlier into the development cycle to actually prevent issues from happening in the first place, rather than just detecting them after the fact. It requires sensitivity, being totally unconditioned, and a willingness to explore the unexpected. So that brings us to cultivating your creative edge. Let's look at some highly practical tips you can use right now. If creativity is our new superpower, how exactly do we spark it on, say, a random Tuesday morning at the office? Well, here's a rapid-fire list of practical steps to get you into a highly fertile state of creative flow. First, embrace constraints. Testing in short, focused sessions forces your survival instinct to kick right in. Second, write less. Stop getting bogged down in heavy software formatting. It completely kills your momentum. Instead, sketch, mind map, use some colors, be nonlinear. Third, plan your work, but definitely allow yourself to stray when you stumble onto something interesting. And finally, favor a simple piece of paper or a sticky note over heavy software. Minimizing friction is absolutely key to keeping yourself totally immersed in that flow state. To stay relevant in this creative era, you've got to be willing to continuously unlearn outdated practices and relearn new methodologies. It's really about being deeply tech-savvy and understanding how systems integrate. You have to master the IDIs, usability, compatibility, security, not just basic functionality. We need to stop focusing on the pure volume of our activities and start hyper-focusing on the true business value of our outcomes. Visualize complex systems so you can prevent problems before the code is even fully baked. Ultimately, the hallmark of a growth-oriented professional comes down to a very specific combination of traits. You need to develop an end-user's mindset so you can actually feel their pain, an engineer's brain to logically analyze the system, an eagle's eyes to spot those tiny hidden details, and a business person's head to make sure you're delivering real value. You merge those together and you become a multifaceted, creative powerhouse. All right, that brings us to our summary and final thoughts. Let's wrap up this learning guide. We have covered a ton of ground today, all the way from the plains of Africa to artificial intelligence. So here is your summary toolkit to take with you. Remember, true growth isn't just external. It's all about building that inner strength and the confidence to influence others. Like the lions and leopards, leverage the wildly varied skills of your entire team and always combine your raw power with methodical execution. Make sure you shift your mindset away from mere productivity, let the machines handle that, and double down on high-value human creativity. Use simple constraints to unleash your creative flow. And above all else, like the warthog bounding across the savannah, have fun and genuinely enjoy the journey. Hakuna Matata. I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. The era of productivity scarcity is officially over. AI is waiting right now to do the heavy, logical lifting for you. The only thing missing from the equation is your unique, unbridled human creativity. You have immense, dormant power lying just beneath the surface. So my question to you is, how will you unleash your dormant power today? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy growing.